One of the most common misconceptions we see is that our students who have more complex brains and bodies will do better when they're pulled out of that general education environment and put in a small classroom with other kids who have more complex needs. And what studies have shown and what we've seen through this work is that that's not often the case. Our students are thriving when they are put in that general education environment with their peers, thriving academically and thriving socially.
The law requires us to offer students with disabilities an education in the least restrictive setting possible. It's also the right thing to do. So we've had some form of inclusion in Carroll County Public Schools for years. In 2018, we were selected by the Maryland State Department of Education and the TIES Center to pilot a new, more inclusive approach. It's helped us offer general education to more students with significant disabilities and make our inclusion work more accountable and sustainable.
4 years ago, when we began our inclusive efforts in CCPS, we began with 2 schools, 1 elementary school and 1 middle school. Shortly thereafter, we increased by 6 more schools at the elementary and middle level. And then most excitedly, next year, we'll be increasing by another 6 schools and moving up to the high school level with 2 high schools.
Once schools are chosen to engage in the inclusion work, their first task is to develop a leadership team at the school level. That includes the administrators, that includes special educators, general educators, related service providers. They identify their inclusive practices' strengths and needs. Then they prioritize their needs to develop their action plan for inclusion.
Our school's inclusion plan has helped our school committee stay on target by creating a timeline with specific dates and 26 strategic actions for our committee to come together and work towards. Each action has a leader that takes charge and confirms that we're following it and we're on time and we're making progress.
To make inclusion work, to really work in my class, I first have to be of an open mind. I need to be able to be flexible in my activities, ready to modify my activities depending upon the needs of my students. And I also need to have planning time with other professionals.
The special educators in my building have been invaluable in helping me meet the needs of my learners as I'm adapting my curriculum. They have a wealth of knowledge of these students, of what their strengths are, what activities they like and prefer, what will help them blossom, and it's just been a really good partnership.
So one of my greatest worries about having students with significant cognitive disabilities in my class was that I was not going to be able to meet them where they were. Luckily, with the help of support staff and adaptive materials, I was able to meet them where they were, and I learned new ways to be able to adapt materials for them and other students.
When a general educator reaches out, the first thing we typically do is we look at the assignment together. We determine the most essential elements that are going to be important for our students, and then we determine the best way to modify that activity. We might just modify using picture symbols for vocabulary words. We might modify comprehension questions or make a communication board, but whatever's going to work best for each student.
We've all learned that with inclusion, time is a critical element. We have to plan carefully and we have to take advantage of every possible moment for planning for our students because there's never enough time.
When educators invest and understand inclusion, it changes the mindset because teachers no longer view students as my students versus your students, meaning my general ed students versus your special needs students. They see students as our students. We're all responsible for the teaching and learning of every student in the building, and we can do that through collaboration and inclusion.
It's so important that we presume competence when students with significant cognitive disabilities are in our general education classes. We have to see them as capable, and when we truly believe that they can do it, then they'll be able to reach their highest potential. They often achieve much higher when we set the bar higher.
Our greatest concerns when our son went into general education classes were, would he be accepted by the classmates, and would he be able to keep up with the classwork that was given to him? And it's turned out so much better than we could have imagined. He is very much accepted by his classmates. They encourage him, they're very helpful, and he's able to keep up with all of his classwork.
When these students become adults, they're going to live in a work and leisure environment that is not separate from everyone else. When they are sitting in their general education environments, they are learning academic content, and also they are learning so many crucial life skills that everybody needs, including time management, following directions, how to work as a group that really helps to benefit everyone.
Being part of an inclusion class for my son has greatly impacted his ability and his skills, especially his skills that he'll take with him in the future. Even things seemingly as small as Blue Jay Cafe. It's helped him with his math skills, it's helped him with following directions. He loves it so much and he's learned so much from it. I could see him working at a bakery one day. That seems small for some people, but it's humongous for him. It's gonna make a great difference.
In my classroom, students absolutely love to work with my students who have severe cognitive disabilities. They love the change of pace. They love showing what they know. It really has made them better students as well as, I think, better people.
Students who've been in an inclusive setting and have learned inclusive practices and have an inclusive mindset will take that skill out into the community. They will know that each person has strengths and weaknesses, and they will be more accepting.
It has been an absolute honor to watch our students grow through this process. Throughout the school year, we have seen peer relationships develop that have become long-lasting between our general education students and our students with significant cognitive disabilities. We've also been able to see our students really take on leadership in their classes and take ownership of their own learning.
Before I knew this friend, when I saw other kids with disabilities, I would sometimes think they can't do the things I can do. But now that I've known him, and then he can do all the things I can do. When I see other kids with disabilities, I think they can do the things I can do, or some things that I can't even do.
My friends with disabilities have taught me to really persevere. I have watched them struggle in things sometimes, but it doesn't stop them from trying hard in what they do. It inspires me to keep trying when things get hard for me.
I've known my friend with a disability for a long time, and he is very caring and wants to help whoever he can. If they're down or not feeling well, he wants to make them happy whenever he can.
Inclusion matters because education is a right for everyone. We all deserve to feel valued, and we all need to belong.
Inclusion has truly made me a better teacher for all of my students, and I am eternally grateful for that.
One big benefit that I see for my students that participate in the inclusive classroom is the increased self-esteem, self-confidence, and overall socialization skills.
My favorite part of my job is just showing my students that they can succeed in life and that they have a future.
I think inclusion helps students of all types prepare for the future by teaching them how to deal with differences.
I always care for my teachers and always never give up.
When we all belong, everybody wins.
What's that?
A microphone.
What's that for?
To catch your voice.
I like school.
I like school.
I like school with my teachers.
My school days are a lot of fun, and I enjoyed them actually.